Sai Ram. Who loves you? God loves you. God loves you, Sai Ram. God loves you. Who loves you? God loves you.
Friends and family around us. So I see some new faces here. Probably you have not met me here before. There are several things I could talk, but I just want to know the time. What's the
45 minutes, maybe?
Yeah, almost an hour. Almost an hour. Okay. 50 minutes. Okay. So Swami's experience. I mean, everybody has their own way. I would categorize Swami in different ways for me, but the most important thing that I would like to share today is faith and surrender, because that has done a lot for me in my life. Being Swami's follower for the last, I would say, 25 years of my life. I came to know Swami really close after I got married to my husband, and the journey began with Swami at that time. And Victoria, actually, we know you for the last since 2000. So we know you for the last not 13 years, 15 years already. We got involved with the organization in 2000, but way before that, I was involved with Swami through my mother-in-law, and she's been an ardent devotee of Swami since 1960s, and she had her own miracles to come to Swami, and she brought me to Swami right after, the day after, I got engaged to my husband. But coming back to faith and surrender, I've had many experiences in life. Like Victoria was saying that, Swami has been using me as an instrument, which I feel is my true blessings in my life. Getting involved with medical camps and, having some experiences of, miracles in my life with my dad coming back out of cancer, my brother-in-law getting out of a hole in the heart. He's still a medical miracle living on this earth. But the most thing that she talked about was the brain tumor. That's the one thing that I did not share, that I would like to share today. In 2013, I was diagnosed, I was having constant headaches and giddiness. And I kind of ignored it because I had a family gathering that I had organized. 3 of my siblings were celebrating their 25th wedding anniversary. So my dream was to celebrate their surprise event here in America. So I had all my siblings coming from India. So I had to plan so much for those 3-day event, and it was more like a family reunion also. So I kind of ignored my symptoms, and by the time it got to November, after the events were done and everybody was happy and they all left back home, and I felt it was time for me to see my doctor. So I called her up and I told her that I have this severe headache and giddiness and I don't feel good. And she had me come to see her the same day. So I went on a Friday, and she checked me up and she was very concerned. She felt lumps in my breast, and then I had severe knee joints pain, and then I told her that I have the symptoms of giddiness and constant headache for many days. So she felt that I have to do an MRI, which I had told her that I would like to do an MRI. And she said, we're going to do a stat, you have to do today itself. So I came back home, cooked for my kids a little bit, and then I went there for the test. And all I did was I prayed to Swami, and I had to be inside the machine, inside the machine for an hour or so. So I was very happy doing my Namasmaran and spending time with Swami. And when I came out, before I left, I actually went for my screening. The technician asked me, "What do you want me to do?" I said, just like you were explaining the other lady before me, what was in the brain. So you just explain to me, after I come out, what's happening in my brain. So I came out and I went to talk to him, and he was busy on the phone, and he said, "I'll talk to you later. Please wait for me." And then he came out and told me that you need to go home and your doctor will call you. So I knew that there was something happening. So on my way back, I called my doctor and I said, I would like to know what's happening, because there was a prayer that was already set 4 months before that or 3 months before that. It's called Satyanarayana Katha, which is an annual thing that we do in our home. So I had already had planned on that for Saturday, and this was all happening on Friday evening. So I called the doctor and she said, "Okay, I'll look into it." And then by the time I was getting close to my house, she called me and she said, "I would like to talk to you with your husband." And actually my husband is her colleague. So I said, "He's at work." And then she said, "You go home and I'll talk to him." So immediately I called my husband. He was already down and he knew that, he was really shocked that I had a 5.2 centimeter growth in my right brain. And he could not believe it, because he was always telling me, "You're joking, there's nothing wrong with your brain, you're just feeling that way." And most of the time the doctors feel there's nothing could happen to their family members. So that was his kind of telling me that everything is fine. So and the moment he came to know, he almost fainted, and he was actually on a bed. And then I told him at that time, I said, "Let me come and pick you up," because I knew what was happening. He told me. Then he said, "No, you go home." I said, "No, I think I should come and pick you up, because you don't feel good." He said, "No, I want you to go home." So I said, I came home. I told my mother-in-law what was happening, and she was in a shock. Poor thing, being an ardent devotee of Swami, it was a testing time for her, and she couldn't control her, crying. And I had never seen her in my life of 23 years at the time. For her to break down that kind, it was really shocking to me to see that. I was busy upstairs. I went to the prayer room, bowed down to Swami. I said, "Swami, my life is in your hand. Give me the strength to bear whatever that comes my way. I just need that strength to carry on." And the next moment, I was busy making phone calls to my doctors from the medical camp, because this was happening in November, and January was a dental procedure camp, which I was in charge of. So I was busy making sure that everything was going to be taken care, because I did not know what was coming up with that. So I was so busy talking. My mother-in-law sat next to me and she was crying, and I was busy talking. And I had my jobs to stop the next week, because I had a couple of installations being a designer and contractor. So I had to call my vendors, I had to call my homeowners to let them know that next week I probably will go for a surgery. So do you mind stopping the job? I would like to come and oversee it. When I come back, they said, "Oh, absolutely no problem." So after all of that, my mother-in-law said, "I cannot believe what you're doing." So I told her, "I got to do what I have to do now." I said, "It's in Swami's hands." I said, "I've left it for Swami to take care." And I said, "This is the last thing on my mind right now. My most important thing is to organize what we have to do." So my husband came home sobbing, and he was literally shaking. And he had the report, and I told him, "Let's just go to the prayer room to Swami." And I put it on Swami's feet, and I said, "Ashok, this is the time to surrender and let Swami handle it." And then we called my family, and his brother-in-law and his brother and everyone. So my husband and my mother-in-law's, the most important thing, they were telling me that tomorrow we cannot do the prayer. We are going to cancel it. We're going to call everyone, and we're going to cancel it. There's no way you have this headache now, and you are still continuing to do this tomorrow. And we were expecting about 25-30 people. They said, "No way you're going to continue to do it." And my argument with them was, "No, I want to do this. There's nothing wrong. This has to continue." And I said, "Whatever Swami has planned next week, I do not know. I want to finish the prayer that has been planned." And it was December 6th on that day. So I said, "We don't have much time. The Christmas comes and all that." I said, "We have to do this." So finally they agreed to it, and then we moved to the other house, because the prayer was in another house that night. And I told my mother-in-law that day, I asked her one thing in the prayer room, because she was so down. she was calling her other son, who is a doctor in Orange County, saying that you need to bring me the tranquilizers tonight. I gotta have them. There's no way I'm gonna go to sleep tonight. I'm so shaken up. I cannot think. And she was so upset. So I picked up the phone and I told my brother-in-law, I said, I really don't want you to come right now. I'm going to see you at the prayer tomorrow. And I said, today she's going to use her meditation and prayers. And so he said, Rupa, I really appreciate what you're doing. He said, okay, I will see you tomorrow. So I told my mother-in-law, all this meditation you do for hours and hours, all these years, I said, how are you putting that into practice? I said, this is the time to do it. You have to do it today. I said, from now on, you're going to do this. And she said, I don't know. Today I had to hear all these years. I never heard an advice from you. Today is the day I had to hear this advice from you. I said, yes, you're going to listen to me. Today is the day you're going to listen to me. So we went to the other house and we got up early in the morning as usual. Then I cooked. And then I prayed to Swami. I said, Swami, we want to do this from our heart. And to me, it's very important that I get your blessings. And I made phone calls. I never believed in hiding things, so I called my family in India. I told my parents, I need your blessings. I believe in prayers can do wonders. And I said, I want you to pray for me. And so we started the prayer in the morning, and the prayer was going on, and everything went very well. And then I have the witness here sitting in front of me. One of them who came. She's my dear sister, Kumudini's sister, and my sister here at home in Corona. I was blessed to have them come as my guest that day. And normally for this event, we always call non-Sai devotees who are my husband's colleagues, because we never get to have them at home. So that's the time we have them for that Satyanarayana Katha, which is not a Sai event. It's just a general, prayer that we do. So, but Akka was special, so she was supposed to be there that day. So she was there, and everybody was leaving, and I was busy packing prasadam and giving them, and I overheard Akka, my sister, the sister here, was asking my other sister, my sibling. She also lives on Mission Viejo, on La Paz here, and she was asking my sister that who was the other boy that had come, who was sitting, behind Rupa. So my sister answered, oh, those were the children of Rupa, Ishvara and Vishnu. So then I heard her say that, no, not those two. There was another boy who came and sat, and he was right there. And then my sister again said, those are, Ishvara and Vishnu, Rupa's, children. And then Akka said, no, that's not the one. I know the children, but this was another beautiful boy. Very fair, good-looking boy, and he was right behind, talking to Ishvara. He was sitting right behind Rupa, next to Ishvara. And my sister said, maybe it was Sai Baba. I heard her say that. And the matter ended there. And Monday was set for the surgery. Our brain surgeon called me and he said, I have a feeling that your tumor could be cyst, because when I see the report, I feel that you have water in there. But in any case, my husband said, no, I want her to have the biopsy done. It's basically more like a surgery. So it's important that we do the biopsy. So it was set for Monday first thing. I went to the hospital on Monday in the morning, and I was almost about to go to the surgery, and I have this ardent devotee of Swami who used to volunteer at the Puttaparthi hospital. He's a very eminent cardiologist called Dr. Ramakrishna Tumati. He walked in his scrubs, and then he said, Rupa, I just came to wish you, and all the very best, Swami is with you and all of that. He wished me and he left. And just before I went for surgery, he came back again. He said, this is for you. And he gave me a small packet of, flat, like a piece of paper. Then I told him, what is it? And he said, oh, I was looking for it all this time. And he said, 15 years ago, Swami materialized this vibhuti for me in the interview room. And I said, did you ever take it? He said, no, I never took it. He said, it was in my pocket and I was looking for it all this time. I couldn't find it, and today I found it. And he said, this is for you. So he gave it to me, and I put it on my forehead and my head. I prayed to Swami, I went in for surgery. So by the time I got out of surgery, it was proved benign. And my surgeon said that, everything went, so well. And he said there was very clear water. And he said it is so clear. And on the Satyanarayana Puja day, I was blessed to have somebody come in and gave me lingam, materialized by Swami, after the puja was over. And I was blessed to make lingam water. And all I took was lingam water and went for my surgery. And he told me that the brain surgeon said the water, they took about 10 or 11 cc's out from the cyst, and he said it was so clear. He said, I've never seen such clear water from the cyst. He said it was so clear. And he said, you don't have to worry about this for lifetime, because this cyst has become a part of your brain. It's flushing the water in and out so good, like a part of the brain. So he said, you don't even need to worry about this for lifetime. So it happened so at that time. And he told me that your giddiness and your headaches will continue, because this turned out to be benign. If it was the other way, then we knew why it was happening. But because it turned out to be benign, he said your headache will not stop. You have to find a way to find out what is the reason for it, and your giddiness. This has nothing to do with this. So when he told me that, and I said I leave it to Swami to decide. And to this day, by Swami's grace, I never had headaches or giddiness. And to me, that proved that if it was truly a tumor, then it would have been addressed, by this. But if the brain surgeon told me that it will continue, and Swami, with this, he took away everything. So to me, it was a new life given. And after a week or so, I went back to my dear sister's home to thank her. And she pulled me inside. She said, I need to talk to you. I want to talk to you. So she called me inside the house. I sat with her, and she told me, people may think I was daydreaming or anything, but I have to tell you, I saw this boy. She said, I did see this boy, coming and sitting there, and fair boy, good looking, curly hair. And it just struck me at that time. Few months before that, I had a dream that I had a knock on the door. When I opened the door, it was Shirdi Sai, Bharti Sai, and a boy in between. A beautiful looking, vibrant boy, curly hair, chubby cheeks, fair looking boy. And all three of them walked in, and I'm looking at them, and I look at Swami, and Swami says, Prema Sai. He introduces me to the boy. And my dream continued. I couldn't believe, in the same house, that boy is playing with my children. And my dream continued after that, and I'm looking at it, and I said, oh my God, Prema Sai is playing with my children. And my dream continued, and I make a phone call to Dr. Mike Congleton, who is more like an uncle to me. I called in my dream him, and I say, Mike Uncle, can you believe Prema Sai came as a boy to our home? And Mike Uncle says, guess what? He knocked on our door too. And I saw him, he says, and my dream ended. And when Akka told me that this boy looked like this, it just, the face that I saw in my dream, what she explained to me was so real to me, because that's exactly how I, envisioned Prema Sai in my dream. To me, it was all real. It truly was Swami's presence there.
When you say that that young, beautiful boy was talking to your children, what did your children have to say?
Oh, that's another thing. When I went to the house, my son was there, and when she told, my son said, no, I did not talk to anybody. I was sitting there. And this is what I believe, that in spirit, the boy may not be able to see, but Swami's presence was there. Because to me, when a person sees, and to me, I connected that with my dream, which to me, dreams are 100% real. To me, the proof was to get Swami's vibhuti, to have this, and the same house where I dreamt of Swami walking in as Prema Sai, as a boy, and that's exactly the house where we did our prayer. So to me, it was all real. Otherwise, I would be still suffering with my headaches and,
Oh, no, I believe it's real. I just wanted to see. Your sister was the only one
Right.
that saw it. And
No, not my sister.
My sister.
Oh, brought you.
My sister was the one who did not believe in it. My sister is the one who does not know who Swami is.
I just wanted to hear what your sons thought of it.
I just want to make a couple of points. I had asked your sister, was he her son?
Son, I know.
And she said, oh no, my kids are grown up and they're not little.
In college.
So, yeah, so, and just to elaborate on what you're saying is that this boy that I saw was fair and looked to me more like an American child.
Yes.
Not an Indian child. So I thought maybe it was one of his kids, one of the kids, and then they were buddies. They were just chatting away with each other. And so I'm making all kinds of conjectures of who this could be, So.
Okay.
And that's exactly what my dream was about Prema Sai, fair, good looking, like a American kid, curly hair, She also told me it's almost the height of Ishwara. Yeah. And the boy exactly was like that in my dream when I saw Swami introduce me to Prema Sai, walked into the same house and played with my kids. So it all came back real to me. To me, always, Swami has communicated with me all these years of my 25 years, only in dreams. I have never had a direct talk with Swami in real life. Everything, even my children, I shared that with you before, how my children came. Swami blew a bubble to my tummy. My second one, the first one came the same way. Swami told in my dream he was going to name the children. He named them as Ishvara and Vishnu. Everything, all this time, every time, Swami has given me everything through my dreams. So to me, dreams are real. That's one thing I have to admit. That is another thing. And to me, this was purely, again, faith and surrender. And, Swami has brought me back.
One more thing I want to share with this group about your faith and surrender. She comes back from the surgery. And I asked her how she's feeling and concerned. And she said, oh, she has this headache and, what are you taking for your headache? Nothing.
Oh, that's from the surgery.
Yes.
Yeah.
And she has this terrible wound up on the head and she's got this horrible headache and I'm concerned, what are you going to do about this? I take one Tylenol only. And I'm dying at the other end because one Tylenol.
That's because my sister pushed me to do it.
Oh,
After she left me, I said, no more. I said, Swami's Vibhuti. Because what happened was they put me a helmet and they put the screws in because you cannot move your head, I believe. It has to be so precise to make a hole. It's in a very complicated area. And that's what threw my husband off when he saw the report, that it's in such a deep, dense, area, you cannot do surgery to take it out. There's no way you could do that. So that was something that really threw him off because it's in such a complicated area with thick tissues around it.
And she goes through all these horrible experiences of sleeping with all these nuts and bolts in her head and still not taking any medication.
So they hit my nerves system. So they were constant pain. With the screws going into your, some of these things. So what I always believed, even when I had a C-section with my two children, they were born after 13 and 17 years of marriage, through the medication they gave me in the hospital, I put only Swami's Vibhuti on my tummy. I walked with his name. I believe that that's the best medication in the world. And I can talk for hours on just Vibhuti, miracles of Vibhuti in my life. Just to share on one, I don't know if many of you know about my dad was given a life back from cancer. Did I share this with some of you?
You go ahead. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
In 2008, my dad was diagnosed with lung cancer, 3rd stage in India, and he came here. We brought him here to treat that because my dad is a very, even though he's 80 right now, he was 75. He always, looked like 60, and he had the energy of 60-year-old for a 75-year-old man. So my husband really felt that we need to really do the best we can for him to save him. So he was brought here, and before he came in, we requested for his specimen to come from the lab from India. And that came, and I took it to the chief pathologist in Pomona Valley Hospital, where he was supposed to go under treatment. And the pathologist told me right after she saw that, she said, oh, it's a big cell cancer. There's no need to even do biopsy on Monday. He needs to go for treatment right away. Rupa, there's no need to waste your time. And to me, it was important that my dad would partake a little bit of lingam water. Somebody had offered to give us some lingam water on Saturday. So I said, no, we will definitely do and my husband said, no, we have to do the biopsy regardless. But we will do this lingam water abhishekam on Saturday. So we took him to a place and got the lingam water. And, I was blessed to carry Swami's blessed vibhuti with me. So I applied Om on his chest. So he went in for biopsy on Monday, and he was getting it done. We were sitting right here doing our namasmaran. Came home that evening. The same pathologist called me, and she said, I'm really baffled. I said, what do you mean? And she said, there's no trace of cancer. All the cells are dead. I don't see anything in here. And it went in for so many different tests, and they did very, very elaborate blood tests after that. Everything proved to be negative after that. And it happened in such a way, such a short time. In my own family, people started wondering, maybe somebody sent a wrong specimen. Like my own siblings who are not into Swami, oh, maybe somebody did wrong diagnose in India. They did not know what they were doing. And he went to a very eminent hospital called Manipal Hospital, and he went to the best doctor, because we knew from here, so we had specified to him where to go and get it done. So we were in touch with those doctors from India. I was personally talking to the techs and the doctors to find out what was happening, and they said, ma'am, it is third case, stage cancer. So all these things were proved, and I told one thing, like I always believed, Swami said, when a devotee has 100%, when you are giving vibhuti to somebody, you should have that 100% faith when you give that vibhuti. The person who is receiving may have only 20%, but with that faith you give, that is all it matters. And how they accept that from their end, we do not know. That's up to them. But with that faith we give, we feel good about it. And that's what I did for my father. My father is not an ardent devotee of Swami. He believes in God. He never believed in worshipping Swami as God at that time. So for him, it was really a big change in his life. And I believed at that time my dad was given a second life, because when we went to Patti in 1997 or 98, we were having a Paduka celebration, Paduka Puja celebration in front of Swami. And my dad came for the first time. We were blessed to sit on a row on the last day, and Swami himself came with the akshata, the rice, holy rice, and he was sprinkling it on all of us. And he did like this, and he went forward, then he went backward the same way. He never turned back. He went backward, and then he took another heap of rice and threw it on my dad and went. And that's when I felt, oh my God, my dad was blessed twice. And I thought, oh, my dad was a great son. He took care of his parents very well. He did a lot for his family. I thought maybe that's why Swami blessed him. But when this happened, I knew that my dad was given a second life. And that's what, definitely happened after that. So he's 80 years old. He's doing good in India. Recently we went to see Swami again. So he was into Swami and he wanted to be a part of it. So I can see the transformation in him. Same thing happened with my brother-in-law, which is another miracle. My brother-in-law was diagnosed with hole in the heart when he was young, which we were not aware. And in 1996, he was told that by the doctors here, they used to go to Puttaparthi to volunteer, thoracic surgeon and the cardiologist. They both saw him in Puttaparthi because my brother-in-law was gasping for air. He hardly could breathe, and he was only 42 years old or 45 years old at that time. And my niece and nephews were very young. And they diagnosed him with the case that he was not operable, and the hole had gotten so big, all the bad blood was pumping into good blood, so there was hardly any survival rate for him. So they came back and called me up and they told me, Rupa, he's going to be living for the next maybe 4, max 5 years. After that, there's no life for him. It's impossible for him to leave, and it's impossible for us to do surgery. The only thing that can happen is Swami's miracle. So right away, I told my husband, I said, let's go to India and be with Swami, and let's ask him to come. And he was not a believer of Swami, but I told my brother-in-law, we did not tell him the story. We just told him that operation is not possible. Let's go to Swami to get his blessings. So he came down, he was with us for a week, and we gave him a book called Satcharita from Shirdi. We told him to read 7 days. Every day, my brother-in-law and my husband were not given a chance to sit inside. They were sitting in the hot sun outside Sai Ramesh Hall, outside. Every day Swami would come out, he would stand and stare at my husband and my brother-in-law and walk away. For 1 week he did that, and my brother-in-law finished reading the book, and a small miracle happened. I mean, as a part of this, normally when I read the Satcharita book, I always make like something, like a sweet, it's a sweet pudding I would make. But we were living in a rental home, and I told myself that day to Swami, that Swami, my brother-in-law is finishing the book, it's the 7th day. I don't have an opportunity to make anything for you today because I live here and somebody's bringing the food. And so I offered it from my heart to you. That morning I prayed that I offer that sweet to you from my heart, that you take care of my brother-in-law. And we had lunch, and then we come home. Just before darshan, I try to come out of the house, and I see a bowl on the table. And I opened the bowl to see it was the same sweet I would make always. I was so shocked, and I said, oh my God. Oh, I'm sorry. We went for darshan, and we came back, and then this bowl was there. And I was really shocked, and the dinner had not come yet. So I said, oh my God, this is really Swami. And the cook brought the food in the night, and I asked him, did you make any sweet and brought us? And he said, yes, I did. I said, who told you to make it? He said, I just thought today I have to make some sweet for you. And I knew where it was coming from. And we were so happy, and I told my brother-in-law, this is Swami blessing us, everything will be taken care. And the day after was the last day, and Swami had come in my dream a week before we left to India. He came in my dream, and he said, Saturday is a Paurnima, and I'm going to call you and others for an interview. And I was so positive. Oh, we are getting an interview. And even my brother had come, and he did not know much about Swami. Every day would ask, can you call for an interview for Swami? Can we go for an interview for Swami? So he thought it was that easy to get an interview. And the moment he came to know my brother-in-law was not going to survive for more than 4 years or 5 years, he was so emotional. He started pushing me, and he said, Rupa, we got to get an interview from Swami. He has to be seen by Swami. Oh, he cannot leave, and the only resort we have is Swami. We got to see him, we got to see him. And that was a lesson learned for me at the same time, how Swami always said, devotion is the only way to come close to me, not any influence. And I, on that day, because I was so moved by my brother's emotional, sentiments and crying, I made phone call to someone that I knew from Madurai called Chettiar family. And I started calling them, and I said, can you please come? We got to have an interview from Swami because my brother-in-law is very sick and he's not going to make it. We need to have an interview from Swami. I started pushing him, and he came down, and I was feeling guilty in my heart. I said, Swami, I didn't do it right. You had already told me you were going to give me an interview. And the same time, I found out Saturday was a Paurnima. And I said, oh my God, I know I'm going to get an interview from Swami. Swami's going to call me because he had already told me Saturday was a Paurnima. I'll call you for an interview. But at the same time, I'm making a phone call, 4 or 5 days before. Please, uncle, please come. We need your help. And I pushed him to such an extent. Uncle came. We were all blessed to sit in the front row. Swami walked in for darshan, staring at me with fireballs in his eyes. He stared, just me, nobody else. He went staring at me, he came staring at me, he went away staring at me. And I knew I was in big trouble because I felt that I fell through, winning Swami's grace because I tried to use the influence. But I still continued pushing uncle, and Swami told him, I'm going to give an interview tomorrow. It was Friday already. Swami said, interview tomorrow. And he said, only 4 people. And he raised his hand, he said, only 4 people. And I see this grandpa who had come from Madurai already was building up his team. People were coming and joining, everybody wanted to be with Swami, somebody wanted to join a school, their children to be, schooled under Swami's name. So everybody had their wish and they all were teaming up with him. And by the time he teamed up everybody the next day morning, it was already about 12 or 14 people. And Swami again told him 4 and went away. So we were all so guilty, and my husband and my brother-in-law said, we are not coming. This is, Swami is telling us that, he wants only 4 and we are like a big crowd going inside. And Swami called, that morning he came and he said, okay, go for interview. So and Ajja told everyone, get up, everybody go. So we were going in a big crowd. And we 3 people in the back, like me and my brother-in-law and my husband, we were in the back. And Ajja would still say, Rupa, forward, move forward, move forward. And we were all sitting in front of the Trai Vrindavan. And Swami's house is there, right there. And there's a small bench, we were all seated there outside the house. And all of a sudden, I see Swami coming out. And he looked so tall, all of a sudden, to my eyes. And Swami said, only 4. Again. Swami said, only 4. And then my brother-in-law and my husband said, no, we are not coming. Because they already have so many people. And I kind of stood back and I just said, no, you're coming in. Coming in. You come in. He said. So I was so guilty because I knew Swami was doing this just for me to tell that you don't deserve to be inside. But I just said, no, you need to come inside. So I was the last one to go, and by then Swami was already seated on the chair, and there was a column. I was trying to hide behind the column and slowly went and sat there as the last member. There were about 10 people there. Swami peeped through them. You, he said, get up, he told me. And I got up. And Ajja was so sweet. He said, Swami, Paduka member. He's introducing me as a Swami Paduka member. Then Swami said, you go back, he told me. And I stood up, and Ajja still saying, Swami, very ardent devotee Swami, brother-in-law, hole in the heart Swami. Swami said, I know everything, you go back. Immediately I bowed down, and I came out, and there were few people who were waiting there. They said, why did you come? Go back, they're telling me. And I said, no, Swami sent me out. I am coming out. So I came out to my brother-in-law and my husband. They said, what happened? You came out, everybody's seated inside? I said, Swami took everybody except me because I'm the guilty one. I said, I used influence, and I sat there and I said, Swami, I learned the lesson of my life that when Swami gave you a direct command and communicated with you, there was no need for me to go through somebody to use that influence to get to Swami. So it was truly a wonderful lesson, and I told Swami that day, sitting out, I said, Swami, give me another chance, I'll prove myself. And I said, I'll come back with my own devotion to you. I told myself, and I was so happy. I was so happy that this was the perfect thing for me. And I knew that when Swami said, I know he has a hole in the heart, I knew that Swami already Swami is aware of it. I don't have to worry. His life is in Swami's hand. And we came back, and the same evening, Ajja came to our room, and Ajja said, and he said, look, Rupa, this is what Swami has blessed me and given it to you. And this is the pendant that you see here. And this is Swami's pendant. And he said, Swami has told you to put it in your tali. And I said, huh?
What's a tali?
Tali means this is my wedding chain, sorry. Yeah. So he said, put it in here. And he said, it's blessed by Swami and given it to you. So I knew that Swami's love is there always for me. regardless, as a mother, he taught me a lesson, but he also showed that I'm always with you, and I came back and I was praying to Swami that, Swami, I want to have a proof that you are taking care of my brother-in-law. We mainly came for him, and where is the proof, Swami? And then I called my sister at that time to tell her that we came back safe. My sister told me, Rupa, I had a weird dream. I said, what is it? She said, oh, I had a dream that me and my husband, that's my brother-in-law, we were sitting in front of Swami in the interview room. She said, and I'm praying to Swami saying that, Swami, please take care of my husband. And Swami is smiling and nodding. He says, yes, 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 I will. Yes, I will take care of your husband. And then she said, I had a peacock come in and give me, honey in my hand. So I told her, your problem is taken care. I said, your kumkum. She said, kumkum and honey. And kumkum is saubhagyavati. We call it, that means when you have that red kumkum, that means your husband, he will live long, for you to have that saubhagyavati. So, and the honey means your life will be sweet as honey. So I said, you are blessed. I said, this is taken care. And you will not believe it. It's 1997 or 6, I think it was, when Swami blessed him. And medical records should have showed him gone by now, which was like they expected him not to be surviving after 2001. And my brother-in-law came to US. They celebrated their 25th wedding anniversary, and the children got married, both my niece and nephew. My brother-in-law came here in 2013, and the same doctor who had checked him up in India, Dr. Tumari, invited us to Pomona Valley Hospital. He said, I want to check your brother-in-law again and see what is happening, because he's beyond medical science. He says there's no way he could survive with that heart condition we have. They have the record. They said there's no way he could survive. So when he did the same screening, he found that his condition has not deteriorated. It is exactly where it was 18 years ago. At that time, it was 18 years ago. So he said, you are truly blessed by Swami, he told my brother-in-law, but don't try to overdo yourself, because he went to Disneyland, he went to Universal Studios, he went to Las Vegas, and he climbed up in the Grand Canyon. So he went everywhere. So he said, don't push your luck too much. He told him, you have to be, watchful. But honestly, to us, we know that he's truly under the care of Swami for him to live like this. So anything that medically, anything can be diagnosed, but with faith and surrender, we just have to leave it to Swami to take care. So that was the wonderful thing that has happened in our family with my brother-in-law, my father, and myself recently. How much time we have? Oh, we don't have any time.
Oh, 10 more minutes.
Oh, 10 more minutes.
Yeah.
I want to share another miracle. Right after that, I told Swami that give me a chance to prove myself. So I came back and I was praying to Swami, being a designer, I don't have any chance of doing anything, for you. What's the big deal about being a designer in America? I said, I want to do something for you. And the golden opportunity came. I came to know that they were preparing a big golden chariot for Swami. I don't know if you have shared this with you guys before, how Swami gave me an opportunity to prove my devotion again, gave me an opportunity to serve him again. So I came to know that, and I also came to know that it was going to happen that September when I had my design exam. And I told myself, oh my God, there's no way I could go to India at that time to be there. And I said, Swami, you got to do something. I said, I'm going to really miss it, and I want to be there for that. Because they had told us that, you will be taking your padukas to India, and you will be doing paduka puja in front of Swami. So that was like a golden opportunity, both coming together. And then I said, and Chettiar family said, no, Ma, we are doing it this September. And I was going to miss it, and I prayed to Swami, Swami, how can I miss it? But I cannot miss my exam. And then I came to know all of a sudden that Swami said, it is not this year, it's the following year. And I was so thrilled, because when Chettiar family went to Swami to ask, Swami said, who are you to fix the time? He said, it's already been fixed 2,000 years ago in the Nari Shastra. He said, go to this some Shastri in Bangalore and ask him when the God has to recite the golden chariot. So Swami sent him to the particular person, And I believe Chettiar uncle told me the story himself. He said, Amma, when we went there, this person opens up the, the history, and he says, 2,000 years ago, it's been declared on such and such a day, God on earth will reside on golden chariot. And so this is set for next year and on this day. And I told uncle, give me an opportunity, anything I could do, I'm in business here, anything I could do, bring flowers, silk flowers and things like that. He said, okay, we'll let you know. And I was praying to Swami, and immediately, within no time, I had my neighbor call me. Her name is Hansa Tejura, Dr. Tejura and Hansa Tejura, very ardent devotees of Swami's for many years. And she called me and she said, Rupa, I want you to do something for me. I said, what is it? She said, I want you to do a carpet for Swami's golden chariot. And I said, oh, I would love to do it. I would love to design. She said, I want you to design it, but I'm going to pay for it. She told me, you're not going to pay for it. We are paying for it. You are making the carpet, but we are going to take it. I said, absolutely no problem. And how do you want it? I asked her. She said, no, you think about it and you design it. So, and it was a small carpet, I think 4 by 4. And I said, okay, lovely. And I said, why don't we do swastika in the middle and then lotus on the sides with the colors? And she said, no, I'll let you design everything. I went to a vendor and I asked how much it's going to cost in, I think it was in LA Mart. They told me about $2,000. And I was shocked. I said, oh my God, for a small carpet, $2,000? Swami never believes in spending that kind of money on himself. I said, I got to be careful. So I went and told Hansaben, this is costing a lot of money. She said, I don't care for Swami. He's the God on earth. We don't mind spending any kind of amount of money for it. My heart didn't agree to it. I said, no, I'm in business. What good it is. I'm not going to spend that kind of money for a carpet. So I said, I'll still look for it. And I went to Laguna Design Center. I told a lady there, I'm doing it for my God, living God, a carpet, but I need it in such a time. She said, oh, it's impossible. We don't even have time to do that. She said, you need to go and look on your own. I said, I don't know anybody. Do you know anybody? She said, yeah, I'll give it to you. But don't tell anybody here that I've given you the address. I'm going to give you the vendor that we use. You can go and ask him directly. So she gave me the name of this vendor who actually makes it for the company. So I went and met him in a storage. He had a shop in a storage and they make exquisite carpets, all carved. So I sat with him and I told him I want this carpet to be made. And he said, oh, sure, we can make it. I said, how much is it going to cost? He said, about $800. I said, oh, that's my budget. So, this is perfect for Swami. So I said, okay. And he said, what colors do you want? I said, I want the carpet to be in yellow color. And he said, yellow? And I was looking around and I saw a yellow, like a turmeric yellow in a corner, a small carpet. And I said, that's the color I want. He said, lady, that's been, discontinued maybe 10, 12 years ago. We don't have that anymore. He said, I have other colors you can pick up, maybe light cream color and things like that. That's not available anymore. I said, no, I want that color. He said, no, it's not available. I said, can you do me a favor? We designed everything. And I said, can you please do me a favor? And he said, what? Can you please call the company and find out? He said, I'm telling you, it's not existing anymore. I said, can you please make a call for me? I said, if my God wills it, anything can be done. So he said, okay, I'll make a phone call. And then he said, oh, okay, hold it for me. He said, I heard that. And then he said, believe it or not, lady, what we need exactly for the carpet is available. That's an old discontinued carpet, but they still have a roll left. He said, that's perfectly fine for this carpet. And I said, great, I want that color. So we designed everything and I ordered that. And when I went back, he had small piece left. And I told him, let's make 2 small carpets, like a foot rug with swastika design. So he said, okay, we'll make it. So by the time I was calling Chettiar family again, I said, do I have something else I can bring on my own? Because I'm making this for somebody. It's not something I'm taking for Swami. They said, okay. Then uncle said, oh, you're a designer. You get any silk flowers there? I said, yes, I do. He said, can you bring me some flowers from America, real looking roses? I said, yes. He said, can you bring me some garlands? I said, yes. So I went and looked for the most expensive velvet roses, garlands, and I got them in long boxes. Everything was packed. Then I brought some bunches of silk flowers like this. I said, okay, if they need for anything extra, the whole suitcase was filled up with all these things, and I was so excited. And we were carrying the carpet with us, so we were so excited to be there. Even in Bangalore, when they opened up, I said, this is for my God, I'm taking Puttaparthi. They said, okay ma'am. And I said, don't leave the carpet down, I have to carry it in my hand. So we were like in the car, we were putting it on our lap. It was like carrying Swami for us. We took it there all the way, and there was big celebration going on, and they were all in sheds. You know, one shed was all golden chariot, they were polishing, and they were giving padakas in one shed, and they were making, other arrangements in other sheds. So I was so happy. I took the garlands in a bag, and I gave the carpet to Hansaben, and we took, put Swami's picture, we did aarti on the carpet, and we took some pictures with the carpet before, it was going to go on the golden chariot. And then I took my flowers proudly to this room, and I told Chettiar uncle, I brought the flowers from here, look at this. And I showed him, he said, that's very beautiful. And the other person came and said, we have decided we are not going to use any silk flowers for Swami. It's all going to be gold only that day, so no silk flowers. So my heart sank for a minute, and I told myself, Swami, all I want is one flower to go underneath the chariot. Roll over on that. That's all it matters to me. I said, I brought it with so much of love for you. And by then they had told us all Padaka members will be pulling Swami's golden chariot. So my brother-in-law, my husband came just for that. They said, oh, we are coming only to pull Swami's golden chariot. And the moment we landed, we signed, they said, only VIPs are going to do it. And so my brother-in-law said, we are not VIPs? He said, no, all the politicians and the top people are coming. They are the ones who will be pulling Swami's golden chariot. You can sit and watch. So they were so furious. They came to the room. They were blasting off. They said, we made tickets to come to India only to pull Swami's golden chariot, and these people are saying only VIP. How partial they are. How can they do this and this and that? So I told, please don't talk anything about it. Swami knows everything. Leave it to Swami. Whatever he has planned, let Swami handle it. We are not the doers. I said, leave it to Swami. And then he said, look what happened to you. My husband said, you brought all the flowers, most expensive flowers. Now they don't even want to put it. And at that time, when they told me no flowers, the other one patted on my back. He said, ma'am, you got flowers, can I have a garland? And I gave a garland to him. Right there was big picture of Swami in that shed. He put it for Swami, right there. And I said, Swami, you heard my prayer. I was thinking of throwing one underneath the chariot. You took the whole garland and put it on there, and I was so thrilled about it. I still had a lot of flowers, and every evening I would sit outside the golden chariot place, and I would wait to see that maybe they will call us for something. And my husband would have jet lag, and he would say, you're crazy to sit here, don't even have sleep, and you think they're going to call you? He said, why are you sitting here, and why am I sitting with you? And I told him, you go sleep. And it was within 2 days was the golden chariot day before celebration, and the golden chariot was all ready. I was still seated there. I took shower that evening. I said, Swami, I don't think I'm going back to the room. I'm sitting there. They may call me for something. So I was sitting right there, and the boy came, grandson of Chettiar family. He came and he said, Auntie, are you the designer? I said, yes. Oh, they have called you inside. So I went inside, and they say, we have decided now for golden chariot, we're going to put 2 bunches of big flowers. They said, you have any flowers? I said, yes, I have baskets of flowers, like bags of flowers I have. He said, go get it. And by then it was getting dark. So I ran and I told Ashok, look, they have called us to make the flower arrangements for Swami's golden chariot. He said, are you sure? I said, yes, let's all go. So my brother-in-law came, Ashok came, and then he said, oh ma'am, we don't need garlands. We need bunches to go on vases. And I said, don't worry, we'll do it. I told him, don't worry, we'll do it. So he said, the next shed you can sit and do it. I said, okay, sure. I took my brother-in-law and my husband, sat on a, the chape we call, like a mattress. And my brother-in-law said, where are the vases? We don't have anything. We don't even have a knife to cut this flower. Where are the vases? How are you going to make the flowers? And I said, Swami will give. When I'm saying that, I see a hand coming out of the door with 2 brass vases. Somebody showing it to me like this. And I said, look, the vases are here. So I picked up the vase. The lady said, oh, do you need any help? I said, don't worry, because we ourselves don't know what we're going to do next. We just got the vases. They're thin mouth with small vases like this. I brought and I said, let's chant Swami's, Ganesha Stuti. So we started saying Badram Karnevihi, Swami's, Ganesha Sloka. And all of a sudden Swami's telling me in my mind, when I'm saying that, he says, turn around the garland. So I turned the garland around. Then he's telling me, there are green knots. Swami says, open it. And we are saying that, and I'm opening it. It turns out to be beautiful 3 stalks of roses. 3 bunches of roses from each garland. They became 1 big rose, medium size, and a bud. It turned out to be so beautiful, 3 bunches out of each garland. We opened and made this many. And we started again chanting Badram. And Ashok says, this mouth is so small, and how are we going to make a bunch of... And I said, just give it to me, I'll start putting it. You will not believe, within no time, we couldn't even see the vase. There were beautiful bunches of vases in our hands. And I was so happy, and I said, let's go give it to them. So I go to the chariot, and I told them, sir, we have the vases ready. He said, oh, they are very nice. Okay, how are we going to fix it? He's asking me. And I said, I don't know. He said, ma'am, we don't have any hole. We are going to put it on top. How are you going to put it? I said, sir, I don't know. You have to figure it out. We just made these. Then he said, okay, leave it there in the corner. We will think about it in the night after we finish polishing it. And I said, I told my brother-in-law, and my husband said, oh, we are going to go to the room and sleep because morning we have to get up early for Swami's Golden Chariot celebration. We have to go to a spot to see him. So they both left. And he said, Amma, you also go. I said, sir, if you don't mind, do you mind if I sit here on the small mattress in front of the chariot? He said, what is it for? I said, I just want to hold these roses and sit here because I want to make sure I'm going to use it. Now you don't know how you're going to fix it. He said, no, leave it there. We'll figure it out. I said, no, sir, if you don't mind, I'll sit here only. So by 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock in the morning, they were done polishing. And then he said, okay, take out all. So I was sitting all night there with the flowers in my hand. And he had me take out all the flowers again. He had me climb up, and they permanently screwed it in to the chariot. And then he said, you come up and put with your own hand again flowers. So by then it was already 6 o'clock. I finished putting both the vases. And then uncle came hurrying up, this Chettiar family. He said, where is your husband? Where are those 2 small carpets? Oh, no, he didn't ask me for that. He said, oh, I need 2 people. Swami has changed the whole plan. He said, what do you mean? He said, Swami called us in the morning and he told us, no VIP pulling. Swami said, only students pulling the chariot. And I was overjoyed, and he said, I need 2 people to put, because we had already given them small carpet. He said, I need 2 people to put the carpet when Swami comes to the Golden Chariot. Are there anybody? By then my husband and my brother-in-law had come there. He said, can you please both hold these carpets? We need to pull the chariot right now. Swami is waiting there. So they both went with the Golden Chariot, and I ran to the room to bring my parents back to the place, one of the areas where to stand and look for darshan. Swami changed the whole routing, and Swami made him, when Swami came out of the room, it was my brother-in-law put the carpet, and Swami stood in there, looked at my brother-in-law, and he kind of asked him, are you satisfied? So my brother-in-law was speechless. And then my husband gave the other carpet. Swami walked on that and he went on the chariot. He looked at the carpet, he looked at the flowers, and he nodded and he looked at my husband. He knew, as though he knew who did that. And Ashok said, I couldn't believe what Swami said. And then he said, pull. So my brother-in-law and my husband got in between the students and they pulled Swami's chariot, chanting the Badram all the way to the end. And I was crying, standing there. I said, Swami, you proved to me again that when you go with devotion and you surrender and you have that faith in Swami, does the best for you always. When you leave it for Swami to take care, you are there. And he truly heard my prayer, because how my brother-in-law felt, my husband felt about Swami not being, equal. Swami is very much into VIPs and all these things. How you heard my prayer. I was so thrilled about it that day. And when the chariot came in front of me, it stood for a minute, and Swami looked at me and he smiled, and he acknowledged that, you know, I came back to Swami with my own devotion. Thank you. So the very next day, I just wanted to quickly finish this. The very next day also, Swami called us in, inside the Prashanti Nilayam. He had us take out all the flowers. He had us use each and every bud I took in my suitcase. In the main Prashanti Nilayam, inside where they have Shirdi Sai, Patti Sai, and Swami's chair, all the vases were filled with silk flowers on that journey. And then was the Swami's throwing us Akshata. It was incredible journey. Thank you. Sai Ram.
I have the pleasure of presenting this to you.
Oh, Sai Ram. Thank you. Oh.
What a gift you are to all of us.
Oh, you're blessed to have one another.
Do you want your water?
Thank you. I'm fine. Thank you. Yeah, I'll take it.
I was looking, you all know the famous picture of him with the big golden chariot. You can see the red roses in the front. With Swami's grace that took that picture. And this is one of Rupa's designs. This kitchen was a miracle. Complete miracle. Had mold and everything, and she got rid of it and brought leaf. And you're welcome to have stay afterwards and ask questions too, and have prasadam. For announcements, this Sunday is first Sunday for the region, July 5th, and we have Ron Carmen as the guest speaker at Ebel. As he says, he responded to the social upheaval that was gripping the Western world in the decade known as the 60s, embarking on a journey with his wife Beverly for 3 years, went around the world. They went to all the peoples in the common country, the common people in all the countries. They received gracious hospitality. However, it was India that took their heart. And they have some wonderful adventures, personal, geographical events that they'll be sharing on Sunday. He had a transforming experience that enabled him to discover the embodiment of the divine Satya Sai Baba. Ron and Beverly have been active in the local Sai organization since its inception. Their children participated in the first Sai spiritual education programs in the country in the Hollywood Center, and for over 20 years they've hosted the Los Angeles Sai Center in their home. Ebel is always wonderful to go. It's a gift to have that in all the Sai centers in the region to participate in that. And also there's a basket at the front door for our region adopted 3 schools that we provide hygiene kits to them every month. Toothpaste, deodorant, shampoo, and conditioner especially are needed. That started when a guidance counselor noticed that 3 brothers weren't always making the classes because they had 1 pair of shoes to share. So they had to go different days. So Swami took care of them. And then July 12th is another one of thanks to inspiration, Swami has given Arupa another medical camp. The Huntington Park Free Women's Care Dental Vision Screening will be in St. Martha Catholic Church in Huntington Park from 8 o'clock to 3 o'clock. That's an unbelievable experience if you have time. Did I miss anything? Good. Okay.
From untruth, lead us to truth. From darkness, lead us to light. From death, lead us to immortality. Om. Peace, peace, peace. Asatoma, Sadgamaya. Mrityorma,
is no merchandise. Do not bargain about its cost. Let it flow clear from the heart, as a stream of truth, a river of wisdom. Let it not emanate from the head, nor from the tongue. Let it emerge full and free from the heart. This is the highest duty, the noblest godliness. Bhava. O Lord, take our love and let it flow in fullness of devotion to Thee. O Lord, take our hands and let them work incessantly for Thee. O Lord, take our souls and let them be merged in one with Thee. O Lord, take our minds and thoughts and let them be in tune with Thee. O Lord, take our everything and let us be instruments to work for Thee. The Lord of the universe is here, Swami Satya Sai is here. Come to save devotees everywhere, come to bless His children everywhere. Born in Buddha Party, the Lord of the universe is here. Calm and tranquil like the moon, shining with divine in her light, filling all with bliss at His side. He is always serving those in need, answering the prayers of devotees, giving grace to you and me. The Lord of the universe is here. Sai, you are Guru, God and Self. Mother, you are everything to us. Father, you are everything to us. You are the divine primal energy, manifest as all that we ever see. You are the one reality, the Lord of the universe is here. Signed with the sacred form of Om, universal radiance divine, please accept this offering of mine, the flame of love that burns within my heart, meaning we can never be apart. You and I are ever one. The Lord of the universe is here. Narayana, Narayana, Om Satya Narayana, 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 Om. Narayana, Narayana, Om Satya Narayana, Narayana, Om Satya Narayana, Narayana, Om. The Lord of the universe is here. Narayana, Narayana, Om Satya Narayana, 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 Om. Narayana, Narayana, Om Satya Narayana, Narayana, Om Satya Narayana, Narayana, Om. The Lord of the universe is here. Narayana, Narayana, Om Satya Narayana, 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 Om. Narayana, Narayana, Om Satya Narayana, Narayana, Om Satya Narayana, Narayana, Om. The Lord of the universe is here. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Sacred, holy, and supreme is Baba's Vibhuti, pouring forth in endless stream His play of Vibhuti. So auspicious is its might, it grants liberation. Baba's Vibhuti, its power protects us. Paramam Pavitram Baba's Vibhutim, Paramam Vichitram Leela Vibhutim, Paramartha Ishra
pouring forth in endless stream His play of Vibhuti. So auspicious is its might, it grants liberation. Baba's Vibhuti, its power protects us. Paramam Pavitram Baba Vibhutim, Paramam Vichitram Leela Vibhutim, Paramartha Ishartha Moksha Pradhanam, Baba Vibhutim Idamashayami. Samasta loka sukhino bhavantu, samasta loka sukhino bhavantu, samasta loka sukhino bhavantu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. May all the beings in all the worlds be happy.